Hey YouTube. Hey, I just wanted to show you one of our latest purchases. I think we purchased this about 3 weeks ago. This is the DR chipper shredder, and it's the smallest one that they make. It does up to a 3-inch branch. And the reason we got this is because out here on this property it is entirely all clay, and that is just a terrible soil to deal with. So we're going to try to do a lot of composting, and in our orchard we're going to try to do a lot of wood chips. So this is where this is going to come in, trying to get the soil amended. We're going to try to use this in the process of composting and amending the soil to try to make it where we can get some good garden and orchard out here in this clay soil. So as you can see down here, here's some of the wood chips that this has chipped up before. They're not super big. They're pretty small, a lot smaller than the mulch you're going to buy. And this is made with, you know, local branches that are going to rot, you know, quicker than the mulch that you buy in the store is made with wood that doesn't rot quickly, so that it'll last in your landscaping. As in, this is just branches off the trees all around here, so a lot of this will decompose quicker. Over to the end over here we have our compost pile that we've started, and it's full of the chicken manure. It's got some straw, it's got some grass, wood chips, and it's all mixed together. So this is where we're starting our compost pile over here, and some of the, you know, like plants and different things will run through the shredder portion so that we can knock those plants into smaller green material to be able to put into the compost pile. So a basic overview, I mean, you got your chipper here, which is mostly what I've been using, and then the big chute on the back is the shredder. And we'll try both of these out and show you how they work. I got a big brush pile over to the side, so let's gather some stuff up. What we have here is a pile of branches, and there's a bunch of old logs actually in the bottom that we collected last year cleaning the property up. We were originally thinking maybe once these dried out we'd burn them, but now that we got this chipper and shredder, we're going to go ahead and try to turn these all into wood chips and compost. As you can see, we're not that far from the chicken coop, and the chipper's right over there. So I'm going to start pulling branches out of this pile here, and then we'll get to shredding. Alright, I got a bunch of the branches laid out here, and there might be a little bit of prep work to be able to get these to feed through the shredder. It's only got like a, you know, 3 or 4 inch opening down at the bottom, so you're going to want to be able to be at least that narrow, or the branches be able to bend to be able to separate them at all their spots that the branches come off. So this right here is probably small enough that I'll be able to just put that through the shredder, and then it'll separate those 2 branches as it chips. But as you get up here, you get these ones that come off at a tighter angle, and like this one over here, I'm going to have to go ahead and chainsaw some of this part so that it'll feed through better. But if you see like this branch right there, how straight that is, that whole branch will be able to feed through without no problem. So basically what I'm going to do here with these branches is I'm going to go ahead and where I don't think it's going to feed through, I'm just going to go ahead and cut off like that branch, cut off one of those branches, and just kind of trim them up a little bit so that they'll feed through better. as you can see, here's all the wood chips that we just made, and there ends up being some branch peelings, little branches and stuff mixed in with it, but most of it all is small chips. It's going to be good enough for your compost pile, or like the orchard, it wants well-drained soil, and so we're going to mix all this wood chips in the soil for the orchard around the trees to help them stay drained and give them some organic material in the ground. So let's go ahead and find us something else to maybe run through the shredder. Alright, I got a few things to run through the shredder. I got a bunch of really tall, you see it's got some pretty decent sized stems to some of this. There's some hay in there, and there's some, I think it's some young ragweed trying to grow. And then over here I got some ragweed that was from last year. Some of this got 7 foot tall, but you can see it's like a woody branch when it gets old. We're going to run those through the shredder. So let's go. As you can see, the actual woody little branches actually help clean out anything green you run through there. So probably not the best thing to do, run all this green through there. You're probably better off just putting that in your compost pile the way it is. But I definitely like the chipper portion better than the shredder. The shredder clogs up easy. It's hard to get stuff into. It has such a long chute. I think this is going to work really good for wood chips. Well, overall, I think I'm going to be happy with the way it chips wood. You can tell that it bogs down on those really large branches, and I almost have to just feed them a little bit and then wait for it to catch up and feed them a little bit more. It's a pretty violent machine overall, but it does the job, and anything 1.5 inches and smaller, it just eats right through without missing a beat. You can definitely tell that the larger branches bog it down. Not real impressed with the shredder. Overall, I probably won't use the shredder much. Once it hits fall, there's a chance that I could try it with leaves, perhaps, to kind of mulch them down. But I'm not really sure. It's not real feasible because it just clogs up. If I dropped leaves in there, they'd clog up before they even got to the shredder. So it's not really ideal, the shredder portion. I think most of my stuff I'm just going to run straight through the chipper. So, but I think this will work great for composting and for having wood chips for my orchard or any of my plants and garden. So that's what I plan on using it for. Thanks for watching.